All right, so get this. Today we're going deep on the E-Myth Revisited.
Oh, this one's a classic.
Seriously, by Michael E. Gerber.
It's like one of those books that really makes you think differently about, starting a business.
Totally. Like, flips the script. We're going to be challenging some assumptions today.
Yeah.
and really kind of exploring this whole idea of, like, is entrepreneurship really about this, like, lone hero?
Right, that's the myth.
Or is there something more to it?
Yeah, is it really just about that one person,
Yeah.
having this, big idea and just going for it?
Yeah, so Gerber, right off the bat, he kind of throws us a curveball.
Yeah,
He says, we always picture that entrepreneur.
the one out there, hustling.
Yeah, like braving the odds, building an empire.
The Steve Jobs, the Elon Musk.
Exactly, but he's like, hold on, not so fast.
That's right.
He actually says that most small businesses, get this, are started by
Drumroll. Technicians.
technicians.
Who would have thought? Yeah, it's not always the big idea person.
Right.
It's the person who is really good at what they do.
It's like the master plumber.
Exactly.
Or like the incredible baker.
The gifted graphic designer.
Yes.
They're amazing at their craft.
But not necessarily at the business side of things.
Right. That's the thing. They haven't necessarily mastered the art of actually running a business.
Exactly. And I'm like thinking about myself.
Uh-huh.
I can bake a pretty mean chocolate chip cookie,
I bet.
but if I opened a bakery tomorrow,
Disaster.
oh man, I'd be like swimming in flour, up to my ears in debt. So Gerber calls this the E-Myth, the myth of the entrepreneur. And he uses this great example to illustrate it.
Yeah, Sarah.
Sarah, the pie baker.
The pie lady.
Tell me about Sarah.
So Sarah, she's amazing at what she does, bakes incredible pies, but she falls into this classic trap that Gerber talks about, thinking that, just because you're a skilled pie maker
You can run a business.
means you can run a successful
Yeah.
business. So she opens up her pie shop, right? But without a really solid plan,
No business plan.
without the business side of things figured out.
So what happens? What's going on with Sarah?
She ends up working 80-hour weeks,
Oh no.
barely making ends meet, hasn't taken a vacation in 2 years.
Oh.
And this passion project, it's become a nightmare.
Poor Sarah. It's like she's drowning in pie dough.
Right.
Not the dream. So if it's not just about the individual's talent, what does it take to build a business that doesn't, make you want to pull your hair out?
Well, that's where Gerber's big idea comes in. He says there are actually 3 personalities at work in every business owner.
Wait, 3?
3. The entrepreneur, the manager, and of course the technician.
It's like a whole committee in your head.
It's like a board meeting, right?
Even if it's just you.
Even if you're a one-man show.
Wow.
Each of these personalities brings something different to the table.
Wow.
Strengths and weaknesses.
So break it down for me.
All right, so you got the entrepreneur, that's the visionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big picture thinker, the dreamer.
Okay.
Then you've got the manager,
Uh-huh.
all about systems, processes, making sure things run smoothly.
All right, so they're keeping things organized.
Exactly. And then you got the technician.
That's our Sarah.
That's our Sarah, the
Yeah.
one who's actually doing the work,
Yeah, getting their hands dirty.
making the magic happen.
Okay. I can kind of see all those sides in myself, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
But how do you keep them from, fighting with each other?
Right. How do you manage all those different parts of yourself?
It sounds like a recipe for, internal chaos.
Oh, it definitely can be. But Gerber, he's got this brilliant analogy to explain it.
Okay, I love a good analogy.
The fat guy and the skinny guy.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So imagine you're trying to eat healthy, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to eat salads, I'm going to work out.
New Year's resolution, right?
Exactly. That's your skinny guy, your entrepreneur.
Okay.
All about that long-term vision.
The healthy fit you.
Exactly. Then you walk by a bakery,
Uh-oh.
and there it is.
Donuts.
Those donuts.
Calling your name.
That's your fat guy, your technician.
Okay. Craving that instant gratification.
Absolutely. And then caught in the middle.
The manager.
The manager just trying to hold it all together,
Oh, man.
trying to create a plan that actually works.
That is so relatable. I think my fat guy wins a lot.
Me too. It's a constant battle.
So how does this, the fat guy, skinny guy, how does this play out in the real world of business?
Well, think about Sarah again, right?
Okay.
Most business owners, they're like her. They're predominantly technicians at heart.
They're the doers.
They're the doers. They get so caught up in the doing in Sarah's case, baking those amazing pies, that they kind of neglect the bigger picture.
The business stuff.
The business stuff, which a true entrepreneur, needs to be thinking about.
Right. The strategy, the planning.
Yeah.
So the E-Myth is about like recognizing that you need more than just technical skills to run a business.
Absolutely.
But I'm guessing Gerber doesn't just leave us hanging with this, internal struggle, right? He gives us some tools to kind of work with these different personalities.
Oh, he totally does. He introduces this concept of the 3 phases of business growth.
Yeah.
Infancy, adolescence, and maturity.
Business puberty.
That's a good way to put it.
That sounds terrifying.
It can be.
What's infancy like?
So infancy, that's the exciting but chaotic stage where the owner is the business.
Okay.
It's Sarah in her kitchen at 3 a.m.
Oh, no.
Fueled by passion and caffeine, baking pies like crazy.
Just like churning them out.
Churning them out. Lots of energy, but maybe not a lot of structure or planning.
Sounds familiar.
Right.
It's like my early days of trying to write. Just pure passion, but like no plan.
Yeah, we've all been there.
But that can't last forever, right?
No, it can't.
What happens when a business grows up a little bit?
That's when things get really interesting and potentially messy.
Uh-oh.
We enter adolescence.
Oh, boy. So, just like with teenagers, things get a little moody, a little unpredictable.
Exactly. The business is starting to grow, but the owner, they're not prepared for the demands that come with that growth.
Okay.
So they feel overwhelmed. They start making, kind of reactive decisions.
Trying to keep up.
And they might even be tempted to, shrink back down.
Oh, really?
Back to that comfort of infancy. They think, get small again.
Interesting.
It's no wonder, Gerber says, that this transition from infancy to adolescence, this is where most businesses hit a wall.
Wow. Growing pains are real for businesses, too.
Absolutely. And a lot of them don't survive that awkward teenage phase.
Why is that?
Because they haven't built the systems and structures that are needed to handle that growth.
Okay.
So they either burn out or the business collapses under its own weight.
Wow. Okay. So we've got the excitement of infancy, the drama of adolescence, but there's got to be something better, right?
There is. There's maturity.
Ooh, mature.
That's the promised land for entrepreneurs.
What's that look like?
Imagine a business that's running smoothly,
Uh-huh.
like a well-oiled machine,
Okay.
sustainable, profitable.
And the owner's not, chained to it.
Exactly.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
Okay, but how do we get there? Is there, a map to this mythical land of maturity?
There is. Gerber calls it the turnkey revolution.
Ooh, turnkey revolution. I like it.
It's about building a business that works without you.
Without me, on autopilot.
Almost like a franchise. Think about McDonald's.
Okay.
Perfectly systematized, replicable business model. Every burger, every fry, every interaction, it's all standardized, predictable.
Okay, so even if I don't want to, actually franchise my business, I should be thinking, I'm creating one.
Exactly.
That's kind of a mind shift.
It is. Gerber says you should be creating what he calls a franchise prototype.
Franchise prototype, got it.
Even if you never plan on actually franchising.
Okay.
This prototype, it's a working model of your business
Uh-huh.
that you're constantly testing and refining.
Okay.
It's all about creating systems, processes, and documentation.
So those are the building blocks of a truly scalable business.
They are.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light here. So how do we actually go about creating this franchise prototype? Where do we even begin?
Well, Gerber lays out several key steps, but I think the most important one is defining your strategic objective.
Strategic objective.
Strategic objective. And remember, Sarah, our pie baking heroine,
Yeah.
this is where she really needs to kind of take charge.
Okay, what does that even mean? Strategic objective.
It's more than just a vague mission statement.
All right.
It's like a crystal clear roadmap that outlines exactly what you want your business to achieve.
For the business?
For you,
Oh, for me.
personally.
Okay.
We're talking about your desired lifestyle, the impact you want to make, your core values. It's about aligning your business with your deepest aspirations.
Oh, wow, that's deep.
It is deep.
So my business isn't just about making money.
No.
It's an expression of, who I am.
Exactly. It's a reflection of you.
Okay. So how would Sarah apply this to, all about pies?
Okay, so let's say Sarah's ultimate goal is to, travel the world, maybe write a cookbook.
Okay, but still be, the ultimate pie queen.
Absolutely. So
Yes.
her strategic objective needs to translate that vision into concrete goals for her business.
So things like, how much money does she need to be making to
Exactly.
support that travel bug?
Revenue targets.
Number of pie shops, maybe?
Absolutely.
Maybe even like an exit strategy for when she's ready to, hang up the apron.
All of that.
Yeah.
How many employees will she need? What systems need to be in place so the business can thrive even when she's off, researching Parisian pastries?
This is where we start to see the franchise prototype taking shape.
This is it. This is the foundation.
This is making so much sense, but I'm guessing this is just like the tip of the pie.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot more to unpack when it comes to building this prototype.
A lot more. And that's where those position contracts we mentioned earlier really come in.
Position contract.
Position contracts.
That sounds way too corporate for a little pie shop.
I know it sounds a little formal, right?
Sure.
But trust me, they're crucial
Okay, why? Why are they so important?
because they're all about transforming those big picture dreams into a concrete system that works step by step.
Okay, but remind me again why Sarah needs these contracts if she's a one-woman show right now. Like, why does she need them?
Because remember, we're thinking like a franchisor here. Sarah's goal is to create a business that could be replicated, even if she never actually franchises. So imagine she wants to open another location or eventually step back from the day-to-day operations. These position contracts, they become the instruction manual for how each role in the business operates.
So it's like she's creating a recipe for success.
Exactly.
Not just for her pies, but for the entire business.
You got it. And each position contract, it's super detailed. It outlines everything from specific tasks and responsibilities to performance expectations, even things like dress code.
Whoa, dress code. That's pretty specific. That's way more detailed than any job description I've ever seen.
It has to be. Remember, we're aiming for consistency and predictability, just like a franchise. So let's say Sarah eventually hires a baker.
Okay.
The position contract for that role would lay out everything, from how to measure the flour to how to greet a customer.
So there's no room for interpretation.
No.
You're winging it.
Exactly. Everything is spelled out, creating that franchise-like consistency.
Got it. Okay, so here's where I get a little lost. Gerber suggests that Sarah actually write up these detailed contracts for every role in her business, even if those positions don't exist yet. So even though it's just her right now, she's writing up contracts for like a future manager, a marketing person, I don't know, a pie tasting expert. That seems a bit premature, doesn't it?
It might seem that way, but it's actually a really smart strategy
Okay, why?
because it forces Sarah to think about her business in a really structured way. Let's say her strategic objective is to have like 4 All About Pies locations.
Okay, yeah.
She would actually create an organizational chart with all those future positions, managers, bakers, even a CFO, as if they existed today.
Whoa, so she's creating a blueprint for the future.
Exactly. Even before she's ready to hire a whole team.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. Sarah doesn't just create this chart. She actually writes up position contracts for each of those roles as if she were hiring for them today.
Okay, so she's like really thinking it through. But why go through all that work if she's the one doing all the jobs right now?
3 big reasons.
Okay.
First, it forces her to clearly define the responsibilities and expectations for each role, which helps her understand how all the pieces of her business will work together. It brings that vision into focus. Second, it creates a sense of accountability.
Accountability. But she's accountable to herself.
Right. Here's the thing. Even though Sarah is currently wearing all these hats, by writing up and signing each position contract,
Like literally putting her John Hancock on there?
literally signing them,
Yeah.
she's making a commitment
Okay.
to uphold those standards and achieve those goals.
Ah, so it's like stepping into the role, even if you're the only actor in the play.
Exactly. It's a powerful mental shift. It's not just, I'm doing all the jobs.
Yeah.
It's, I'm taking ownership of these roles and I'm holding myself accountable for their success.
Okay.
And third, it's like building a training manual for the future.
Oh, right.
So when Sarah's ready to bring on a team, she already has this clear, detailed guide for what each role entails.
Okay.
No more scrambling,
Yeah.
trying to figure it out on the fly.
Wow.
It's all there ready to go.
This is way deeper than I initially thought.
It is. It's about laying the foundation.
So it's not just about writing job descriptions.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about laying the foundation for a scalable, sustainable business.
Exactly. You're building something that can grow with you
Yeah.
and even potentially outlive you.
Okay, so we've got the strategic objective, we've got the position contracts, but I'm guessing there's more to this franchise prototype, right? What's the secret sauce that takes, all about pies from just like a small town bakery to like a thriving, massive pie empire?
You're right, there is more. And that's where the real magic comes in. Building a successful business isn't just about the nuts and bolts of operations. It's also about capturing hearts and minds.
Okay, tell me more.
So in part 3, we're going to explore how to weave in those intangible elements, the power of story, the magic of branding, how to connect with customers on a deeper level.
Ooh, I can't wait to see how Sarah turns all about pies into like a brand that pie lovers just can't resist.
Oh, it's going to be good. We're going to get into all of that.
Bring on the marketing magic.
Let's do it.
Okay, so marketing. This is where I think a lot of small business owners, they kind of get tripped up.
Oh, yeah.
They think it's just about like, advertising or like posting on social media.
Right, just getting the word out there.
But Gerber's like, no, there's more to it than that.
It's a whole system.
Okay, so what's the E-Myth perspective on marketing?
So Gerber says, marketing, it should be a system, just like every other aspect of your business.
Yeah.
And it's not just about selling a product or service, it's about creating an experience,
Okay.
a feeling that resonates with your customer.
So it's not just about the pie, it's about how that pie makes you feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You nailed it. It's about tapping into those emotions.
So remember, Sarah, our pie baking heroine.
Of course.
Let's say her ideal customer is like that busy professional we talked about.
Okay, yeah. The one who's like craving a taste of home but doesn't have time to bake.
Right. So Sarah needs to like tap into that
Desire.
that emotion.
Yeah, create a brand that really connects.
Okay, so how does she do that? Does she need to hire like a fancy marketing agency?
Not necessarily. I mean, it starts with understanding her customer.
Right. Both the demographics and the psychographics.
Exactly.
Demographics, those are like the cold, hard facts.
Yeah, age, location, income.
But psychographics, that's where it gets juicy.
That's the good stuff. That's where you get into their values, their aspirations, what makes them tick.
Okay. So for Sarah, understanding her customer's psychographics is key.
It's everything.
So like, does her ideal customer value, organic, locally sourced ingredients?
Right. Or do they prioritize convenience?
Are they looking for a sense of community?
All of that. And these insights, they will shape everything.
From like her sourcing.
To her marketing message.
Okay, so Sarah has done her research. She knows her ideal customer inside and out. Now what? How does she create a brand that like speaks to them?
Storytelling.
Ooh, I love a good story.
It's all about telling a story.
Okay.
So imagine Sarah creates like a brand narrative around bringing back the warmth and connection of home.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe she decorates her shop with like vintage baking tools,
Yeah.
family photos,
Mhm.
fills the air with the aroma of cinnamon and apples,
Mhm.
plays old-timey music.
I'm already feeling all warm and fuzzy inside.
Right. It's all about creating an experience that transports her customer back to their grandma's kitchen.
It's like she's creating a feeling, a memory,
Exactly.
not just selling a pie.
And that feeling, that's what makes her brand memorable.
It's what sets her apart from every other bakery.
Exactly. It's her unique selling proposition.
This is brilliant. Okay, but how does she get the word out? How does she actually attract those busy professionals to her pie haven?
That's where the marketing system comes in.
All right, so what's the system?
Remember, it's about being strategic, meeting your customer where they are. So maybe Sarah partners with local businesses that her ideal customer frequents.
Okay, like a co-working space?
Yes,
A yoga studio, maybe? Like a high-end grocery store?
absolutely. She could offer like pie samples,
Okay.
host pop-up events, or even create a loyalty program that rewards repeat customers.
So it's not just about like blasting out ads, it's about being thoughtful and building relationships.
Relationships are everything.
I love that. So it sounds like social media is still part of the mix.
Oh, definitely. But it's not just about like mindlessly posting, pictures of pies.
Right.
Sarah could share her story, her pie making philosophy.
Okay.
Create beautiful photos, even host live pie making tutorials. It's about creating engaging content
That draws people in.
that tells a story.
So she's not just selling pies, she's sharing her passion and creating a community around her brand.
And all of this, the story, the marketing strategies, the customer experience, it all documented in Sarah's franchise prototype.
Right.
It becomes part of that system that can be replicated and scaled as All About Pies grows.
This is all starting to click now. I'm seeing how the strategic objective, the position contracts, the marketing system, all these pieces work together to create a business that's like built to thrive.
That's the beauty of it. It's a holistic approach.
And the best part, Gerber reminds us that building a successful business isn't just about achieving those financial goals. It's about creating a life.
A life of purpose.
And meaning.
Yes.
So it's not just about selling pies, it's about building something bigger than yourself.
Something that contributes to the world.
I love that.
And for Sarah, it's about sharing her love of baking, creating a gathering place for her community, building a business that reflects her values.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
The E-Myth Revisited is a game changer.
Seriously, it really flips the script on how we think about entrepreneurship.
It's not about being that lone wolf. It's about building a system.
A system for success.
A system that allows you to create the life you want.
And a system that helps you become like the best version of yourself. So what does this all mean for you, our listeners? What dreams have you been putting off?
Yeah, what's your version of All About Pies?
Maybe it's time to take a leap of faith. Dust off that business plan. Start building your own franchise prototype.
Remember, it's not about being a superhero. It's about creating a system that works.
And it's a journey that can be incredibly rewarding, both personally and professionally.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the E-Myth Revisited.
We hope you're feeling inspired.
To create your own game worth playing.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep. All right, so, we've been talking about Sarah and all about pies.
Yeah, our pie baking entrepreneur.
And I gotta say, I'm getting hungry just thinking about all this.
Me too. All this talk about pies.
But before I run off to find the nearest bakery, we gotta keep diving into this.
Into the E-Myth Revisited.
Yes. We've been walking through, how Sarah's building this franchise prototype.
Yeah, it's all starting to come together.
Right, from her strategic objective to those super detailed position contracts. But now I'm ready for the good stuff. How do we sprinkle in that marketing magic?
The marketing magic.
That's gonna make all about pies irresistible.
This is where it gets fun.
Yeah.
Because marketing, this is where I think a lot of small business owners, they kind of get lost.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming.
They think it's just about advertising or, posting on social media.
Right, just getting the word out there.
But Gerber, he's like, no. It's so much more than that.
Okay, so enlighten me. What's the E-Myth perspective on marketing?
So Gerber says marketing, it should be a system, just like every other aspect of your business.
Okay.
And it's not just about selling a product or service. It's about creating an experience,
Right.
a feeling.
Okay, so how does that work for Sarah?
So remember, Sarah's ideal customer,
The busy professional.
the one who's craving a taste of home but doesn't have time to bake.
Right.
So she needs to tap into that desire, that emotion, create a brand that really connects.
So how does she do that?
It starts with really understanding her customer.
Okay, so we talked about demographics and psychographics before.
Exactly. Demographics are like the cold hard facts.
Yeah.
Age, location, income.
But psychographics, those are the juicy details.
That's where you get into their values, their aspirations, what makes them tick.
Okay, so for Sarah, understanding those psychographics, that's key.
It's huge. It informs everything.
So does her ideal customer, do they value, organic, locally sourced ingredients?
Right. Or do they prioritize convenience?
Are they looking for a sense of community? Where do they hang out? What do they care about?
All of that. And those insights, they're going to shape everything from her sourcing to her marketing message.
Okay, so let's say Sarah's done her homework. She knows her ideal customer like the back of her hand. Now what?
Now it's time to tell a story.
Ooh, a story.
Imagine Sarah creates this whole brand narrative around bringing back the warmth and connection of home. So maybe she decorates her shop with vintage baking tools, family photos, black and white, maybe a sepia toned, fills the air with the aroma of cinnamon and apples.
Oh, stop it.
And maybe play some old-timey music,
I'm already there. I can smell it.
right? It's all about creating an experience,
Yeah.
transporting her customer back to their grandma's kitchen.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Right.
It's not just about the pie. It's about the feeling, the memory.
That's what makes it special. That's what makes her brand stand out.
This is amazing. Okay, but now how do we get the people in the door? How does she actually attract those busy professionals?
That's where the marketing system comes in.
Okay.
Remember, it's about being strategic, meeting your customer where they are. So maybe Sarah partners with local businesses that her ideal customer frequents.
Okay, so like a co-working space, a yoga studio,
Yeah.
maybe like a fancy grocery store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She could offer, like, pie samples at those places,
Oh.
host pop-up events, or even, like, create a loyalty program that rewards those repeat customers.
So it's not just about like blasting out ads, it's about being thoughtful and building relationships.
Relationships are key. That's how you build loyalty.
Okay, so it sounds like social media can still play a role here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not about just, posting random pictures of pies.
Right, it's got to be more strategic.
It's about storytelling.
Yeah.
Sarah could share her story, her pie-making philosophy,
Okay.
create beautiful photos, behind-the-scenes stuff, even host, like, live pie-making tutorials.
Oh, I love that. Right.
I watch that.
It's about creating engaging content that tells a story that draws people in.
So she's not just selling pies, she's sharing her passion.
Exactly.
Creating a community around her brand.
And all of this, the story, the marketing strategies, the customer experience, it's all documented in Sarah's franchise prototype. It becomes part of that system that can be replicated and scaled as All About Pies grows. This is making so much sense. I'm seeing how the strategic objective, the position contracts, the marketing system, like all these pieces fit together to create a business that's built to thrive.
It's a holistic approach. It's not just about one thing, it's about everything working together in harmony.
And I love how Gerber reminds us that, building a successful business, it's not just about achieving those financial goals, it's about creating a life.
A life of
Yeah.
purpose, a life of meaning.
Exactly. So it's not just about selling pies, it's about building something bigger than yourself.
Something that contributes to the world in a positive way.
I love that.
It's about making a difference. And for Sarah, it's about sharing her love of baking, creating a gathering place for her community, building a business that reflects her values.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. The E-Myth Revisited. Seriously, this book, it's a game changer.
It really is. It challenges you to think differently about what it means to be an entrepreneur.
It's not about being a lone wolf. It's about building a system.
A system for success.
A system that allows you to create the life you want.
And a system that helps you become the best version of yourself.
So what dreams have you been putting off?
What's your version of All About Pies?
Maybe it's time to, take a leap of faith. Dust off that business plan and start building your own franchise prototype.
Remember, it's not about being a superhero entrepreneur. It's about creating a system that works for you.
And it's a journey that can be so incredibly rewarding, both personally and professionally.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the E-Myth Revisited.
We hope you've gleaned some valuable insights and are feeling inspired to create your own game worth playing.
Until next time, keep diving deep.